Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just gonna get into them. I'm just gonna draw 3 of my OCs, Nasha, Leyland, and Vesperine, who are originally in my comic, normally by technicality in the 2nd season. They're first years in the same class in college, and I just wanted to do a little doodle of them, just bonding. And I generally do like how this one did turn out. It's much better than my 1-year anniversary digital art. I'm not very good at digital art, but I did try much more, my best this time, mainly because I was just having like a tough day at work. So I just wanted to doodle them for fun, and I just ended up loving it. So I do hope you enjoy. I will come back here and there to talk. So I'm sketching in blue because hopefully it was much better for me to see where my lines were, because I think that was the problem last time. But I think the main problem last time was just my awful planning on the background. This time I just chose a simple background for this one, but the main focus was the proportions and the anatomy for my 3 characters. And I really did struggle with this one. This pose right here was supposed to go to Leyland, which she's much shorter than the rest of her peers, but she's the one with more energetic. I ended up just moving it more upwards so I can have more room, because otherwise it would have been a little bit stiff. I still think it looked a little bit stiff, but it looked more simple and a little bit much more cuter than the original. Also, I got this pose off of Pinterest that I have saved on my Pinterest board. Okay, so I'm lowering the line art sketch so I can do the line art. And right here, I'm going to start with Vesperine. It took me a while to figure out which pen to use and what type of nose I wanted to give her. It was a struggle, but eventually I got it, and we're gonna get right into doing her line art. Generally, out of all of my characters, Vesperine is the one that looks more sporty and a little bit girly at most. Well, the other two, Nasha is more like a Lolita goth, and Leyland is more of a cutesy type of girl who's really into childish things, which generally I think suits her personality more, especially since I wanted her to be different than her cousin Yumeri. Up next is Nasha. She is actually much more easier for me to draw. Well, they're all easy to draw. It's just I don't draw her that much, despite her being simple for me. I generally did like how her color palette looked out this time. I initially was going to go for green, but I think I just ended up with the blue. It was also a struggle to do her nose, but I figured it out. And everything, I don't know, she just looked so cute when she's all finished up. So she has more details than the rest, and yet she still ended up looking the prettiest, I believe. Placement of the hand. She was originally supposed to be also on Vesperine's shoulder, but I feel like she's uncomfortable with touch, mainly due to her being overly sensitive when touching people. So she just puts her hand on her shoulder and considered it a closeness bond. And I find that a little bit cute because all their personnel is very different. I'm fixing Vesperine's pose, mainly her arms, because I don't think it was looking proportionally correct to the original photo. So of course I changed that. Made sure that her skirt was physically seen. They're pretty much all sitting down, but I don't think you can really tell with Vesperine. Maybe a little bit. And then I'm finally gonna start on Leyland. I took off bits of Vesperine's hair to see if I could probably fit, but then I realized that like later on, once I did Leyland's hair, that Vesperine's hair was supposed to be in front of Leyland's face, so I changed that later on. Also, Leyland gave me less trouble in the line art phase, but color wise it was a struggle because I always imagined her with much darker red hair than her cousin. But other than that, I had to scrap that idea. In sketches she'll still have that dark red, but I guess in digital art she'll have not the same red, but a little bit darker red than Yumeri, who's much more lighter. I ended up fixing her eye because I don't think it looked correct theoretically, and I actually ended up liking how the second try did look like. It actually looks like it was proportionally accurate to the first one I did, well, the second one I did, and I think it just made her look so much cuter. I'm cleaning up a bit, but normally I'll consider coloring them and then rendering period question mark. I think I just skipped the rendering and just went into coloring afterwards. LOL. So here I'm going to actually start coloring Leyland first. This is me testing out brushes, and then I'm just going to end up, well, not really brushes, me testing out the color of hair color she would look with. But like I said, I struggled finding the perfect red. Like, I generally do think that none of these red would have worked. But if you did like any of the ones I picked, please let me know. I'll probably change it. But generally, I think how she turned out is cute. I just wish I kept her darker red hair and find a color that was close to it. Best Brain hair also gave me a whole lot of trouble, considering that her hair is a much more lighter brown, close to orange. I was generally trying to find the right color as how I drew her originally, because I did do a marker drawing of her for my sketchbook / binder. I do like a binder instead of a sketchbook when I draw. So I was trying to find the right color that matched what I had originally for her. But I do think the orange that I picked out for her is correct to her original hair color. Well, at least closest to what I got originally. I don't know. I do think it turned out good. She's very cute, in my opinion. I don't know. Her color palette is just black with gray and red. That's, like I said, her outfit is pretty much very sporty, so there's not really much going on for her. But instead of like a regular black, I use a darker blue that's close to black, and then a gray for her jacket, and of course her skirt was red. That's something that will never change. That's something her original concept art had, which you can see on my Instagram. And then I go in with the darker type of orange to do shadowing on the parts of the hair where I think the light would not hit, but also to add like a little bit more depth to her hair. Layla's color palette is normally just red because of her overall skirt, and a top that's just pure on white with a little bit of blue to add like the shadowing of it. Mainly because I just think it just suited her better. I think she is the type to just be a red and blue girly. Mainly because I think she likes to match outfits with her hair. Now for eye color, the only one I canonically had their eye color was Vesperine, and I believe Layla, but Layla was like a green while Vesperine was like a mint with a darker blue. And like I said, I came up with Nash's color palette completely on the spot, so whatever happened today is canonically her color palette for the rest of her life. Now, as for skin tones, I did knew that Vesperian was going to be a little bit darker than the girls. Mainly because I wanted her to have a different racial background than Leyland, who is pretty much Italian. So I thought it'd be very cool to give her the same skin color as me, just slightly. And I do think it actually did bring out the piece altogether, because no one's supposed to look alike. That's completely debunked. And of course, Leyland's gonna have like a regular skin tone, while Nasha has a much paler skin tone. Mainly because I believe that girl is missing a lot of not a lot of vitamins. That girl is pretty much burning out there in the sun wherever our college is at. Poor girl is gonna have a heat stroke in under 20 minutes. I generally think the process why I made her a lot whiter is because I feel like she would be missing. I feel like she would think that pneumonia is fun. I don't know why. It's a little headcanon that my brain thought of, and it just stuck. Oh, and I accidentally stopped recording because my little nephew came in and I forgot to turn back on my camera. So yeah, but basically, originally she was supposed to have green hair because that's what I decided on my little walk when I was walking my dog. Ended up not happening because because all the dark greens kind of suck. I don't know. I need to figure out an OC with dark green hair. But originally she was supposed to have like white with purple highlights. But I feel like I have another OC with white and pink highlights, and they're not really related, so I had to change that to a darker blue with a lighter, with like a dark purple to go in with the lighter purple later on. Because throughout drawing her hair, I'm like, but what if it was like a fade? It's like a dark blue to a dark purple to a light purple, and I generally did like how it turned out. Originally it was supposed to be a lighter purple, but the fade just made her look more gothic, I believe. Also, I need to know, she does have 3 pins. You can't see it because I chose a darker blue where her hair is, but she does have like 3 pins on the part where her eyes is not seen, which is very ironic. I think she just did it for accessory, but didn't want to move her hair into a place, so she just put them like that. Maybe because she has a sensory issue. Maybe she wants to work on it. Or maybe she just thinks it's cute. You'll never know. I generally don't know where these spots came from, but like I went back to like a darker blue, outlined where her bow is, to color in her dress. I generally do think that her dress did turn out the way I wanted to. It's very cute. I like the ruffles and the bows. Generally thinking to think that she wouldn't been the girly type, but then again, she's a gothic Lolita. She's gonna like gothic cute dresses, but generally she doesn't look like the type to like bows, yet there it is. She's beating my headcanon stereotypes, and it ended up looking so cute. She just gives me the good brain worms. I love her so much. She's so cute. I already said that, but like I can't emphasize enough, she is adorable. I love her. I'm cleaning up any lines or mistakes I've made. And then eventually I'm going to start erasing from the original sketch to make everything look more normal, I would say. So, yeah. finishing up the cleaning. Okay. And then coloring any bits and pieces that I missed. Filling in the background. Just overall cleaning. Some of the area in Nasha's hair I just ended up keeping because I think it looks correct to my opinion. She always had like long spiky hair back there. But generally I am sorry if this video is a little long. I just like longer videos. But mainly I'm just making these videos for myself. And that's it. That's the end of the piece. Here's a full sketch. That's the end of the video. So I'll end it there. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.